Hello everyone, welcome to Crystal Eclipse. My name is Jessica. In this video, we'll be asking the cards, how will you be treated? And this will be for your future spouse or your future long-term serious love interest. And this will be mostly on their personality and the way they approach you in the beginning of the relationship and once you are committed to each other or married, and if that'll change. So I have 5 stacks for you all today. There will be timestamps in the description box and in the comment section if you would like to skip to whichever stack or stacks you've chosen. Starting over here, we have rose quartz, hematite, amazonite, green turquoise, and lastly, clear crystal quartz. So choose whichever stack or stacks call out to you and we will start. Also, if you're interested in the cards I've used, I do have a list with the names of them in the description box. We're going to start with our first stack, which is once again with rose quartz. Our first card is the 10 of Pentacles, and our second card is the 10 of Acorns, responsibility and dedication. So we have 10 cards right here, 2 cards that are representing the number 10, and they really, to me, seem like 2 cards that tie into each other. So you can see 2 aspects of this person's personality and the way that they'll treat you. So here we have one that's almost lackluster in a way. This card is very uneventful. She's just laying there on the couch surrounded by cats, pillows, almost in a dull way. There's not much going on here. But what we do see is this sense of comfort, a sense of home, a sense of peace, where she's able to lay down and feel like she's not under attack, where there's not a lot going on that will cause her to be uncomfortable. So even though this may be a card that seems like it's boring in a sense or just not very exciting, this is a good card to represent this person's personality, because it's telling me that immediately when you meet and when you're starting the relationship that you will have with this person, they're going to be somebody that you feel really comfortable with, where you can easily let down your guard and embrace them. You can talk to them and share a lot about your personal self, the things that you're interested in and things that you've gone through, where you feel like you won't be judged by anything that you have to say. They won't look at anything you've done in the past with a negative light. They won't judge you for any mistakes you've made, and they won't disregard anything that you've done. They'll embrace you as you are. They'll listen to everything you have to say, and they'll really start this relationship off in a very comfortable, easygoing way, where it starts more as a friendship, I see, and progresses into this really long-term romantic relationship. But mostly what I'm seeing is they're a great source of comfort, a great source of home with you in this picture. Somebody you can rely on, somebody you can stay with, somebody that you don't need a lot of excitement with. So they won't be one that's really all about going out or all about making themselves up. They're not going to try really hard to make themselves up, but it's not that they don't want to for you and that they wouldn't for you. It's just one that's all about the comfort and the relaxation that they can bring to this relationship. So they may be people that want to stay home, so they'll ask you to maybe come over to their place, or if they could stay home with you, or you'll see when you move in with each other that they'll be the type that would rather have a date night at home than a date night out, and they'll like to watch movies and just be really calm with you, really relaxed with you, not really eventful, not really outgoing, but more where it's just what you two can do together as a couple, just the 2 of you, just relaxed with each other. Then in contrast, we have this responsibility and dedication in the 10 of Acorns card, and we also see it represented here in either a donkey or a horse, but we see this very majestic creature. This one is almost glowing. There's a lot surrounding this person, a lot of excitement, a lot of intensity, but to me this is representing them as how they will become in an image to you, the way you'll see them up later in this relationship. As this relationship progresses and becomes more serious, this is the way you're going to view them, because this is the way they're going to treat you. They're going to be that one that is constantly there for you, the one that is a great strength for you, and you can turn to them always. They will always be there. They will always be open and protecting of all that you are to them. They want to make sure you don't feel uncomfortable. They want to make sure that whatever they provide you with is what you need and what you want. They are going to be a very loving person, and one that really looks at this relationship as their final relationship, the true relationship they've been working for. And I see that really in this dedication at the bottom. This is saying to me that this person is going to make sure that you know that they are dedicated to you, that you are the only one for them, and that they will never look at anyone else, because you are that final relationship, that true love, the one that they want to marry, the one that they want to be with. So with these two cards, although they have that contrast to them, it seems more exciting in this card than it does in this Pentacles card. It really has this balance between them. Although they may be the ones that want to stay home, or the ones that just want to keep company with just you. They just want to stay home with you, or they just want to have little date nights where it's just the two of you. They're not really into large crowds. It's more going to reflect their protection of you. They really want to take care of you and treat you well and make sure that you're well taken care of in general in life. And they will work very hard to show you how much they care about you. So that's what I'm seeing with this first deck. Somebody who is definitely going to treat you incredibly well. They will show their dedication and prove to you time and time again that they love you and you are very special to them. We're going to start with our second stack, which is with Hematite. And our first card is going to be the Hanged Man. And our second card is the Knight of Feathers, Action and Focus. With these two cards, we see sort of contrasting characters. We see this strong, sort of intimidating lone wolf character. And in this first card, we see this sort of goofy, eccentric, or quirky character, but it's also alone. And what's tying them together really is that solitary character in each picture. And then we also see focus in this image, which is perspective and the way you approach things, which is also a representation of this Hanged Man card. The way you look at life, the way you approach life, and the way you go after things. So we're seeing them tying themselves into each other. With this first card, I want to say that this is the way that this person will first come across. You're going to see them as sort of zany, somewhat unexpected. They're going to do things that are sort of weird to you. You don't know if they're trying to be romantic. You don't know if they're flirting with you. You won't really see what they're doing because they're so odd in the way they do everything. And it seems like you're going to have to go through a little bit of time. You're going to have to really get to know this person before you understand what really makes them tick. You have to get to know them, which is something good. Obviously something good will come out of this relationship, but it will take a little while of getting to know them and getting to understand who they are as a person and why they do the things that they do before you understand what their gifts mean and what the words that they use will mean. And I see this card as representing them in the way that they approach the relationship. So they may give you gifts, or they may talk to you, or start conversations, just approach you in general, and you may not understand that they're wanting to start a conversation, or some joke that they say is meant to be an opening line, something that will allow you to talk, an icebreaker. So there, it's going to be a little strange, and you're going to not quite understand really anything that they do when you first meet them. But after getting to know them, then you're going to see that this is just like part of their personality. They're going to be a bit of a goofy person. They're going to have things that make you laugh, to be one of the key things that attracts you to this person. I don't see them being mean, and I don't see them being anything that's negative. I think it's just going to be really weird and something that you may have a hard time getting used to at first. But then once you get into this relationship, you're going to see that this person is a lot more serious than you thought they were. They have a better, more mature standpoint. Once you get further into this relationship, you're going to see that that's just them being a little goofy on the outside. They're actually very educated, or they're very serious. They know when to do certain things. They know when to work, they know when to have fun, they know when to keep things separate, they know how to respond in serious situations. They're not always that goofy character, that odd, eccentric person. You're going to see the way they treat you also change, where they're going to be more, in the beginning, they're going to be more awkward with you. They're going to really be trying to get you to like them, and trying in odd ways that don't really always work out, trying to get you to notice them or go on a date with them, even just talk to them. They're going to try, and it's going to be weird, and you probably won't notice that they're flirting with you or trying to go out with you in the beginning, just because it won't be the usual approach that people make to a new relationship. But then after a while, you're going to see that they're going to become more of the protector and more of the person that is on the lookout, the one that is always prepared for everything, and the one that really, when they start something, they stay on it until the end. They're very intuitive people. They know a lot more than they lead on to knowing, and they're much more serious. They will treat you well, I'm seeing it, but it's more going to be to, they'll carry on that awkward personality throughout this relationship. Definitely, that is something that it's just the way they approach things. But you're also going to see this come in as that, as I said, protector, but in a sense that they're making sure that you have everything that you need, and you may not see it in the beginning. You may not see what they're doing as sort of setting the foundation for the relationship, but everything they're doing, they're thinking about, they're planning meticulously to make sure that this relationship goes in the best possible way. So they really are invested in this relationship. And although it may seem a little awkward, as I said, they may be a little weird, they may be a little quirky, or there may be things about them that you just don't quite understand, and it may frustrate you. Know that this person is serious, and this person does know what they're talking about and what they're doing. It's just that they have an odd way of showing it. So it will take a little while for you to understand that the certain things that they're doing, the way that they're treating you, is more out of love than them just being awkward. They're awkward, but they're showing signs of love. And I will say, it does seem like a good person, somebody who can be both that strong person and somebody that you can confide in and just talk to, and somebody who can really easily just help you distract from anything that is too serious, or when you just need a breather. They're that type of person that can help you out. And so Siri seems like a pretty good relationship. They seem like a well-balanced person who's going to treat you well. You just need to get past that little hurdle. So we have our third stack with Amazonite, and our first card is the Six of Wands, and our second card is the King of Shells. And I think these are two really great cards to have in common, and I really want to touch on both of them in detail separately and then combine them together so that you can understand what kind of person this person is. So in the beginning, what I'm seeing this person as, and even throughout the relationship, what I'm seeing this person as is that protector. Even though I said that in previous stacks, this person is the protector, but also the one that will stand alongside you. So they won't stand in front of you to protect you. They know you're capable, so they'll stand beside you as support. They will let you make your own decisions. They will let you be the confident one. They'll let you be the leader. They know when to step down, but initially they will always be that strong one that is able to stand there and approach every situation with confidence and back you up. So that's what I'm seeing here, because we have all these creatures, all these beings. We see a rabbit, we see Alice, we see these other three characters. I'm not going to list them all, but we see all these people standing behind this character, the center character. And they're ready to approach whatever's coming. And we can see this in other decks, other tarot decks, as this Six of Wands card being the one that represents the soul figure, being the leader, the one that goes off to battle, or the one that is standing up to somebody else. And they bring out wands in support. They bring out things to show that they support this central figure. In most other decks, you'll see that. And in this one, you can see that they're all standing beside the central figure supporting them. And that's where I see this relationship, this person to you, the way that they'll treat you is they'll approach this relationship with you as both a protector and a supportive figure. They're going to be almost like a cheerleader to you. They're going to constantly be the one that tells you that you're capable and that you'll be able to do anything, because they really believe that you can, and you'll gain so much more confidence through this person because they are so incredibly supportive of you, and almost with their beliefs, with their integrity, you can't help but believe what they're saying. You can't help but side with them. They're so strong and they're so positive that you immediately believe all that they say. And that's really great in this relationship, because that's really going to lead to this bond that you two have that will create an inseparable relationship, leading to this long-term love, leading to this marriage, leading to something that helps you to not argue. I see that this will be something that will really keep you two on good terms, because they're going to be that type that is so level-headed in the situation that they won't ever cause negativity, and they'll be the one to help you lose that mindset if there is any negativity. Now we see the second card here, with the King of Shells, harmony and integrity, which are words I've just said. They seem like the harmonious type. They seem like the type that really just doesn't want to start any fights. They don't want to anger anyone, although they will stand beside you and support you through any and every situation you come across. You will see that they're the ones who really stand down when they need to and stand up when they need to. When it's appropriate, their behavior is always appropriate. They're also the type of person in this situation that will really be one that makes you feel equal. They will be sure to listen to what you have to say, even when you don't have an opinion or don't want to share your opinion. They want to hear what you have to say, because they really find it to be necessary to hear that. And you'll find out this person almost seems too good to be true, because they're just so incredibly positive and understanding and supportive, and basically everything that you could ever hope for in a romantic partner or even in a friend. But then we see something very interesting in this card right here. In this King of Shells card, it is representing a king, which will be associated with a male in this card set. And I say that because we do have a seahorse here, and that's going to tie into that male role, because we see seahorses are an interesting example of roles being reversed. So the king or male seahorse in this situation, male seahorses are the ones that carry the offspring rather than the female of the species. So we're going to see somebody who not only treats you well and will always have your back and is always very supportive of you and very kind to you, but we're also seeing somebody who is willing to back off, or who is willing to be submissive when they need to. So if there is a situation that calls for them to not be this stronger figure or the one that's talkative, they can really give up their role. They can give up their strength. They can give up this high standing position in order to compromise, in order to be fair. So you're going to see this person as somebody who's very fair in this relationship. And this could be a woman, this could be a man. I'm not saying this is any gendered relation. I'm saying that this is somebody who wants a 50-50 relationship. This is somebody who wants no gender roles in this relationship. They want to have a relationship based off of capabilities. And if they exceed in a certain area where you don't really excel, then they feel that it should be their responsibility. But if you exceed in an area where they don't, then it should be your responsibility. And it's a very fair dispersal of responsibilities in this relationship. And they'll be willing to let themselves be second place in order to build a stronger relationship and to do what's right. So you're really seeing a great fairness in this relationship, and they're tying together because they're both that type of person who's standing up for what they believe in and standing up for what is right. And you're going to see that very evident in the way that they approach this relationship. You'll see it when you first meet them, when you marry them, or even in your long-term relationship with them. They're going to be really level-headed, and incredibly fair and about equality in this relationship. And that's what I'm seeing with this third stack and aquamarine. A very good positive relationship. Starting with our fourth stack and green turquoise. Our first card is the Two of Swords. And our second card is the Nine of Feathers. So these are both air cards. Feathers and swords are representing the same thing. So consider them both sword cards. We see perspective and self-empowerment in this, and it's actually tying into this first card a lot. We see both of these center figures where this porcupine and this character in the center, they both have something sharp that is potentially dangerous, potentially painful, that can hurt somebody else. But in their current position, they're not hurting anyone, and they're in control of the situation. They're able to decide what happens. So we also see this perspective, which is the way we should look at this first card. So in a lot of readings, we can see sword cards as being off battle or being one of intensity, something that's going to happen, a progression. But in this card, what we see is a calmness. There's nothing that is happening, although we do see the center figure with the two swords. She's not targeting anyone. She's not looking at anyone. She is blindfolded. There is a decision, there's contemplation here, but this is a chance for her to think. So in this stack, with this card, I would say about this person is everything they do, they think about in a way that will better themselves and better others. They don't want to make any decisions that may come back to hurt them, but they don't want to hurt anyone else even more. They want to make sure that they can protect others and do the best for humanity and others around them. So you'll see with the way that they approach you that they'll be much more hesitant and much more calm about everything. They won't go at it in a way that could offend you or could hurt you. They'll approach you in a way that makes you feel really respected and not hostile or interrupted. They're going to be the quiet of a very calm person, and it's going to be different than the way you look at them. You're going to look at them and think that they're going to be a different way, but they're going to be surprisingly gentle. They're going to be one that really evaluates situation and really thinks. They're very morally centered. They want to think about the best for others, the best for what's going on. And although they may have this outer appearance that could seem hostile or just something that is not really something you'd look for or find all that attractive, or even something that you wouldn't pay attention to, it seems like it's just something that draws you in through their personality mostly. And then we see this Nine of Feathers card where there's once again them trying to show you that there's something different. There's something else in the situation that you need to evaluate further. They're trying very hard to show you that they're not that scary person, or they're not somebody that should be looked away from. They're somebody that's really kind and in control of who they are, although they have this appearance about them, although they may have like a bit of a history. They're not that person. They care about you and they are very interested in your well-being. And we see perspective on this card and self-empowerment, and I'm seeing that in both of you, both reflecting them and reflecting you and that relationship together. So you need to change the perspective that you have on them when you first meet them. You need to be aware that this person is not who they look like. Their physical appearance and their personality and their beliefs are much different than the way they look. And I'm not saying that you're a bad person or that you would do that. It's just something that they're going to have a hard time with. They're going to need you to do that, because what I'm seeing here is seeing as both cards are coming across in a somewhat different light, as in they're both presenting us with something that isn't quite what it seems. They're so used to that behavior. They're so used to people reacting the same way that they're going to expect you to look at them the way other people look at them. But through this relationship, through you proving that you're not looking at them that way, they're definitely going to be more open with you and grow more confident in themselves. And through that, you'll be able to grow more confident in yourself and in this relationship, because you're both going to be able to learn so much from each other and really grow off of each other. And mostly, I would say they're going to treat you incredibly well. You just may not understand what kind of person they are when you first meet them. I'm not really seeing any true signs. They may just be either somebody who comes off cold, they may be somebody who is like super muscular in a somewhat scary way. There's a lot of different factors that can go into this, but it's just somebody that you're not going to expect yourself to fall for. From what I'm seeing in these two cards, it's just going to be somebody different. You're not going to think that you have anything in common with them, but once you get to know them and once they really take the time to talk to you, this relationship is really going to grow. They're going to be, as I said, incredibly gentle with you. They're going to be one that really thinks before they do anything so that they can approach each situation in the best possible way. They're going to really surprise you in their kindness and their calmness, in the way that they just want to hear you out, and the way that they want to listen to you, and the way that they want to be with you in this relationship. But overall, what I'm seeing is, although the parents may be different from what this relationship is going to be aware that they're going to be incredibly kind to you. So it may be somebody that you're not expecting, but they're definitely going to have a really great personality and treat you really well. So our last stack here is with clear quartz. And our first card is the Moon. And our second card is the Knight of Acorns. Two really contrasting cards. And what's odd to me is we're seeing, in a way, two husked creatures, but one is moving away from the moon and one is moving toward the sun. And this moon card is normally representing a bit of fear, something that is unseen, something that cannot be approached without hesitation, something that is sometimes negative. It can be quite a negative card. We're seeing hostility in here. And we're also seeing the characters here representing something that's not quite positive, because we're seeing this walrus and these little creatures that are following him right here in this card. Can you see? I'm sorry about the glare. So in the book, in the Alice in Wonderland book, which is what these cards are based off of, there's a story in Through the Looking Glass, which is called The Walrus and the Carpenter. And this is the walrus, this is the carpenter. So what we see right here in the background following them are just a little bit, all these little creatures here are oysters. And this walrus is coercing these oysters to follow him to his home. And he's going to provide them with a better life. And he's going to like really treat them well. But what happens is when he gets there to his house, he ends up eating all of them. So he's basically lied to them and manipulated them. So what I'm seeing the start of this relationship as is something that seems more unusual, in the sense of there's secrecy. There seems to be something about this person that they're hiding something, they're keeping something from you. There doesn't seem to be an easy way to get to know them. Almost every time you try to get to know more information, they turn you away. But at the same time, they're very nice to you, and they constantly compliment you and treat you well. And it's this borderline thing where, do you trust them or do you not trust them? If you can't know more information about them, should you be in a relationship with them? Why are they so secretive? But also, they're so nice to me, should I stay with them? And that seems to be the major topic of this relationship, or the major thought within this relationship in the beginning. But this is your future spouse. This is your future major long-term love interest, the one that's going to be there for a long time in your life, and like the ultimate love eventually. So although this seems like a negative card or a negative approach to this relationship, it may be in this sense that there's more to this. There's more than what you're seeing here. There's something, even though they're secretive, there's a reason that they're secretive. They're, what it appears to be is they're scared of what they really are, and that if you see what they really are, then you won't like that about them. Then we see this Knight of Acorns, this warthog represented here, heading toward the sun. They're on a mission. They're, you can see action and drive. They're heading forward. They know where they're going, and they're intent on getting there, which is quite a contrast from this first card, which is this more relaxing, seductive kind of personality here. Let's just more go with the flow, see what happens, and we'll get there eventually. We'll see that counter here. So that to me looks like where they're going to change. Although they may be more into being suave in the beginning of this relationship, trying to almost in a sense lure you in. They want to bring you closer to them, but they won't really give. They just sort of want you to be the one invested in this relationship. What I see happening down the line is there's going to be a situation or maybe a conversation where they realize that they can lose you, or that they might lose you, and it's going to change their personality and their approach to this relationship. In the beginning, they're not going to be really dedicated to you. They're not going to really be interested in this relationship, but their feelings toward you are going to grow so strong that once you give them that ultimatum, or once you really have that serious conversation about where this relationship is going to go, they're going to completely change, because they're going to want to be with you. And the treatment that you receive from them is going to change too. It's not just going to be that wooing type of personality. They will open up to you. They will show you who they truly are. They're going to be more into proving their loyalty, proving their worth to you. So it's going to be a big contrast. In the beginning, it's just going to be dating. It's going to be little gifts here and there, but mostly like what you can do for them. But then once you get tired of that, and once you really want to know whether or not they take this relationship seriously, they're going to change that approach to this relationship and start proving to you that they are a loyal companion. They're one that will be there for you permanently. They're interested in the long-term relationship, and they're interested in being a good support system. They can show you that they're dedicated and that they're capable, and that will definitely be very visible in this relationship when it becomes serious, because this will be the change that leads to them becoming this serious person. And I think it's really the growth, because we're seeing two tusked creatures that are changing their standpoint in this image. We're seeing this walrus merging into this warthog. We're seeing this moon turn into the sun. There's this change that is coming through these pictures that's really representing the transition from just a little flingish relationship, one that they don't really take as serious as they actually do, to something that is incredibly serious and dedicated to you. So that is what I'm seeing with this last stack. Their personality is going to change from when you're casually dating to when you actually become serious. So at first it may just be not the best treatment, just more like they'll pay attention to you here and there, but it will eventually become really great treatment, and they're going to prove to you that they are dedicated to you and treat you very well. So those are all the stacks that I have for you all today. I hope that one of these stacks is able to resonate with you, or provide you with an answer to any of the questions that you have. If there are any questions you'd like a future pick card on, please tell me. You can leave that in a comment. You can also message me on Instagram. If I don't respond to your comment immediately or like it, please know that I'm having a little difficulty with comments showing right now. They're not showing for about a day or two on my channel, so I apologize if I don't respond to you. But I really want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Please have a wonderful day, week, and year. Bye bye.